Hi everybody, it's Thomas here from Thomas Fitzgerald Photography, and welcome to another episode of Street Photo Diary. So today I am shooting with the original Fuji X100, which is 8 years old, and it actually had its birthday not so long ago. So I actually got mine. I didn't get mine when they first came out. I got it after about a year or two after it was released, and it's been a handy little traveling companion with me everywhere I go. I don't use it for street photography that much, and I actually haven't used it in a while, so I thought today I will give it a go and take it out for some street photography. So it'd be interesting to see how I get on, seeing as I haven't actually used it in a little while. So the original X100 was actually kind of unique when it first came out, in that it was one of the first large sensor compact cameras, and I actually started the whole Fuji X series off. The X Pro 1 came after the X100, so it was the X100 that kind of started the whole thing, and it was kind of the beginning of Fuji's rise to fame with the X series. And the camera is not perfect, of course, and it does have a couple of things that are kind of less than ideal. For a start, it's quite slow, the autofocus is quite slow, and just the operation in general is slow. It's kind of like using an old computer in that everything's kind of it's just a little bit sluggish. Sometimes you take a picture and it might take a few seconds for the screen to come back on, or sometimes switching between the viewfinders can be a little bit sluggish, things like that. So overall general operation can feel a bit slow sometimes. So one of the tricks I use when shooting with it to get around the autofocus issue is to preset the focus. So basically what I'll do is if I see somebody walking into the shot, or I kind of can see the shot forming in front of me, what I'll do is I'll pick a point on the ground and then focus on that, and then just let the shot play out, and then take the image when the time is right. So the other option is, of course, you can zone focus, but I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not a huge fan of zone focusing, mainly because if you're using zone focusing, you have to stop right down, and then you lose any depth of field advantage of having a nice large sensor like this. So basically with this shot, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the right combination of subject. So you see the guy with the ladder in front here, and I'm just waiting for the right person to walk by, so that it forms kind of an interesting juxtaposition of subjects. So I want basically something that forms with the right stride, so that it kind of goes with the ladder and the subject behind it, and forms an interesting subject, forms an interesting image. So it's a matter of patience, really. Sometimes it takes a few goes, so I'll probably end up with 7 or 8 shots that won't be right on this, and then we'll end up using the one that works properly. Yeah, I think that's going to work. That's a pretty good shot. In terms of settings, basically I'm shooting in aperture priority. I have the ISO set to 200 and I'm just using the aperture ring to control the depth of field. So one of the other cool features about this camera and the subsequent X100 series cameras is that it has a built-in ND filter. So sometimes if you're shooting in bright sunlight and you find that you actually can't shoot it wide open, you just toggle the ND filter on and that solves your problem. You're then able to shoot wide open, which on this case is f2, and you can still shoot it in bright sunlight because of the built-in ND. So that's a really useful feature, and again, it's on all the X100 series cameras. So one of the questions I get a lot in the comments here on Street Photo Diary is how do I manage when shooting people, A, not to get noticed, and B, not to get punched, or not to have people harass you. So there's actually quite a few different techniques that I use, but one of the things I've found is that particularly if you're shooting in an area where there's a lot of tourists, people generally tend to not pay any attention to you. So for example, where I'm walking now, there's lots and lots of people around and nobody is paying any attention to me. So unless you're shoving a camera in somebody's face and being really rude and obtrusive, people generally don't pay that much attention. So that is it for this episode of Street Photo Diary. I hope you have enjoyed this, and if you have, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out the other videos in the Street Photo Diary series. So once again, thanks for watching and see you next time.